In this section, we will discuss the characteristics of the different classes of antihyperglycemic agents. There are currently 8 classes or families of antihyperglycemic medications. These include biguanides, sulfonylureas, meglitinides, DPP-4 inhibitors, GLP-1 receptor agonists, SGLT2 inhibitors, thiazolidinediones or TZDs, and alpha-glucosidase inhibitors. Each class of drug acts differently on hyperglycemia by targeting the different mechanisms involved. Let's start with the biguanides. These medications increase insulin sensitivity and decrease glucose production by the liver. There are currently 2 medications in this class, metformin or glucophage and long-acting metformin or Glumetza. Metformin is taken with meals, while long-acting metformin is taken with supper. The next 2 classes are sulfonylureas and meglitinides. These classes are usually grouped together under the name of insulin secretagogues. They promote the secretion of insulin by the pancreas. Sulfonylureas include glyburide or diabeta, gliclazide or dimicron and dimicron MR, and glimepiride or Amaryl. These medications are taken with meals. Gliclazide and glimepiride are taken at breakfast. Meglitinides include repaglinide or gluconorm. This medication is taken a few minutes before a meal. The next class of drugs is DPP-4 inhibitors, a slightly newer class. They decrease the secretion of glucagon by the pancreas and decrease the production of glucose by the liver through the so-called incretin effect. The incretin effect occurs after a meal. After eating, the digestive tract releases GLP-1, a hormone that increases insulin secretion, decreases glucagon secretion, and decreases blood sugar levels after a meal. DPP-4 curbs this effect by destroying GLP-1. By inhibiting DPP-4, we're blocking the enzyme that destroys GLP-1 and therefore increasing the effect of GLP-1. DPP-4 inhibitors act primarily to decrease blood sugar levels after a meal. They have no effect on satiety or the feeling of being full, or on weight. There are 4 medications in this class: alogliptin or Nesina, linagliptin or Tradjenta, saxagliptin or Onglyza, and sitagliptin or Januvia. These medications are taken at the same time of day, with or without food. We are now moving on to the first class of injectable drugs, the GLP-1 receptor agonists. We just saw a class of drugs that increases the effect of GLP-1 by inhibiting the enzyme that destroys GLP-1. GLP-1 receptor agonists are much simpler to explain. They directly increase the amount of GLP-1. GLP-1 acts on many organs. It increases insulin secretion and decreases glucagon secretion by the pancreas. It slows the speed at which the stomach empties and increases the feeling of satiety. Altogether, they promote glycemic balance and may lead to weight loss. There are 3 groups in this class. Short-acting GLP-1 receptor agonists includes exenatide or Byetta. This medication must be injected twice per day, an hour or less before breakfast and supper. Lixisenatide or adlixine is injected once per day, an hour or less before supper. The second group is long-acting GLP-1 receptor agonists. This includes dulaglutide or Trulicity, extended-release exenatide or Bydureon, and semaglutide or Ozempic. These medications are injected once per week at the same day and time each week. Liraglutide or Victoza is injected every day, always at the same time of day. While we just saw the GLP-1 receptor agonist that must be injected, oral semaglutide or Rybelsus must be taken orally. This medication is taken in the morning with as little water as possible, a maximum of 120 milliliters or a half cup. You must then wait 30 minutes before eating or drinking anything. Now let's return to a class of drugs taken orally, the SGLT2 inhibitors. These medications promote the elimination of glucose in the urine by the kidneys. Normally, a person's blood sugar levels must be very high before glucose is eliminated in the urine. In the kidney, the SGLT2 let glucose re-enter the bloodstream to prevent this energy from being lost in the urine. By blocking the action of the SGLT2, this medication decreases the threshold in which glucose could pass through the urine. There are currently 3 medications in this class: canagliflozin or Invokana, dapagliflozin or Forxiga, and empagliflozin or Jardiance. Canagliflozin is taken at breakfast, while dapagliflozin and empagliflozin can be taken at any time of the day. The next two classes of drugs are less commonly used but may be helpful for some people. Thiazolidinediones or TZDs increase insulin sensitivity. There are currently two medications in this class, pioglitazone or Actos, and rosiglitazone or Avandia. These medications are taken orally, usually once in the morning. The last class of drugs is alpha-glucosidase inhibitors. These medications block the absorption of certain carbohydrates, which decreases the rise in blood sugar levels after a meal. There's currently one medication in this class, acarbose or Glucobay. This medication must be taken within the first few bites of a meal. It's also possible to take drug combinations, essentially a 2-in-1. Metformin may be combined with DPP-4 inhibitors. These medications are sold under the name of Janumet, Janumet XR, Genta Duetto, Casino, and Comboglize. Metformin may also be combined with SGLT2 inhibitors. These medications are sold under the name of Zigduo, Synjardy, and Invocamet. This screen shows the different medications and the different organs on which they act. Don't be surprised if your medical team recommends different medications at different doses and different combinations. The goal is to find the recipe that best works for each individual. This course has been made possible with the financial support of Rush Diabetes Care, a division of Hoffman La Roche Limited.